Hello everyone. So this is a big binder of a bunch of loose paper that I sketched on or drew on, and some of this art is dating back like 2018, 2019, I think, maybe a little bit before, and some of it is newer, maybe, I don't know. But starting off with the binder, it has a bunch of random stickers on it. Most of them are peeling off. I have never watched Attack on Titan. I actually watched the Attack on Titan parody, and that's it. So opening it up. So I don't really know what's in here. We'll probably skip over some stuff that's just like this. That's just not really that meaningful or like interesting. Sorry to put a box down so I can throw this paper in here. So first we have a comic. So in like this is even earlier. This is like 2016 maybe. I don't even know, but it was 5th grade. I started this comic series called Creep Comics with my character, the Creep. He was like the main guy. So there's a couple of those, I think, maybe in here. This is art I did last year. I don't really like any of it, but it was when I was finishing My Hero up to the second to last season. I haven't watched the last one. I just keep putting it off, but I'd watched it, and so I wanted to draw a lot of fan art. So I decided to just draw some characters. So that's what that's from. And then we have, oh my gosh, this is a Tododeku fan child, I think, from 2019. We're gonna have a lot of these. There's like a bunch of them in here. This is when I first watched My Hero. My Hero was my first ever anime, and so it holds a really special place in my heart. And it was the first time I ever really joined a fandom. Before that, I hadn't really been in a fandom or anything. So besides like Monster High, but even then, like, I didn't have social media or anything. This is a comic, but I don't know actually if all the parts are in here, so it wouldn't make any sense. But so I never really had a fandom to be a part of, and My Hero Academia was the first time I ever got really introduced to that kind of culture. Now this is actually an animation meme that never came to light, and it was the animation meme Cut My Hair or something like that. Cut hair or haircut or something. So these were like the shots of it, and I think they're all in here. I don't know how they went, but. And this character is kind of inspiration for Chiffon. Now I know this character looks nothing like Chiffon at all, and the actual inspiration is the hair color, but this character actually, they have completely different hair color than Chiffon. This is more magenta. Chiffon is like bright pink. But this character kind of did influence Chiffon. A lot of these drawings. I don't really know where this art style came from, but I drew in it for a while. Most of my art was inspired by a lot of like cartoons I was watching. There's a lot of Toga because she was my favorite. She still is. This was my friend's OC. But a lot of my art was inspired by books I read and cartoons I watched. And so that's where this style came from. And you'll see me switching to, there's so many of these, to a more anime art style later on in my sketchbooks. Now these things that I have here came out of a sketchbook that I still have. I ripped out all the pages because I want to put these on my wall. They were on my wall for a bit, and then I got rid of them because they're really ugly, but they do hold a special place in my heart because it's like so much My Hero fan art. And I like never draw My Hero fan art anymore. I really only draw like, I love drawing Toga, I love drawing Shigaraki. They're like my go-tos for My Hero fan art. But I do like some other characters as well to draw. Femme Tododeku, Yuri. More togas. And Todeku again. Now, at the time, I was really obsessed with Todeku. But I actually am not really a Todeku shipper. I don't really care about them. But I was really obsessed with them during this time. I was Todeku Kiribaku stan. I still care about Kiribaku. I still ship Kiribaku. But I no longer ship Todeku. Because I don't really ship them with anyone. I don't really care who they end up with. This is Scarlet Witch or Wanda. She's always been my favorite Marvel character ever since I saw her in Age of Ultron. But I liked her before that too because my brother was always obsessed with Quicksilver. And since him and Wanda are like a brother and sister, we always kind of like, that was like our characters. We have Billy. I love Billy art. If you don't know, I was like obsessed with, I still love him, Billy the Monster High character. And he was like, I wanted to be him so bad. He was like literally my favorite thing ever. So there's a lot of Billy art. And I love it because it all looks super strange. Yeah, there's just some other random stuff in here. This is something my friend made me. And I still have it. This is a Rogue drawing. It's kind of beaten up. This is from 2017. So, 2017. So that's even older than I thought. This was a project I had to do in school. Oh, here's some writing. This is an essay I had to do. I still have it for some reason. This is another project for school I had to do. Now you'll see that a lot of my art from this time period is fan art. But before that, I actually never really drew fan art. I only drew my original characters, which were based off of dolls I had. I believe this too. I believe this is actually the And Then There Were None. We had to draw this And Then There Were None for my 8th grade year. And that was during COVID. So I had to draw with this other person. And they ended up drawing it. And I colored it and rendered it and stuff. Rendered it. I'm like, not really, but, you know, at the time. And I think this was my interpretation of, like, if I were to have done it, this is how I would have made them. This, I believe, was in one of my binders or something. Has a bunch of my OCs. Some of this art that I'm skipping over is other people's. It's just, like, not really needed. Here's a song I wrote. It's pretty embarrassing. Oh, here's more of that story. So I don't know, maybe if you wanted to go back and, like, piece that together. This was something I did for a, like, 3D printing class in my school. I still want to bring this back. I think this is really cute. It was basically like, so, Happy Hooves Day is like the My Little Pony, Valentine's Day. So I wanted to kind of create that Happy Hearts Day. So it's like Valentine's Day. I don't really know why. And this is one day, like a 1-day Valentine's Day card. And I just think that is so funny to have, like, your characters being a Valentine's Day card. Like, that's just so funny. I really still want to do that. Maybe I'll do that with One-Way Ticket because I think that would be kind of fun. This is an art project I did for school. This paper is grimy, but basically me and my friends were obsessed with the name Jerome. It's just an inside joke we had, and so this entire page is covered in the name Jerome. And I still kept it because it reminds me of my friends. This is a, like, fake movie poster I made for A Fox's Story, which I actually did end up writing a story called A Fox's Story. These two go together. Called A Fox's Story, and it was really bad. It was really bad. And I don't actually have it anymore, and I'm so sad I don't have it because it was truly an abomination. But there's a lot of fox art. For a while, I was, like, kind of obsessed with drawing foxes. I don't really know why. This is my cat that died. Probably draw that because my cat died. This is, I don't actually really know. I think these are just, like, so a lot of my original characters come from LPS or dolls that I have. So a lot of the characters in here are LPS that I had that were, like, characters in my world, or they were dolls that I had that were characters in my world. So, like, two of my characters that you'll see a lot are Nina and Julian, which are Ever After High characters, but, like, I took them and made them my own. And then Billy, and then there's two other characters named Kitty and Rachel, and they were also very important. This is a really long story I wrote for this writing club I was a part of. Now, actually, the writing club that I was a part of didn't even let me read all of it because it was so long. I was actually really sad because I took a really long time to write it. It was basically just this, like, comedic story. I don't even really remember what it was about, but it was just about, like, a lunch date, and it was just, like, ended up really terrible. And I don't think I have all the pages for it, but this is the first page, so... yeah, a lot of foxes and stuff in here. Because I would draw on a lot of just printer paper around this time. I didn't, like, have... Oh, this is kind of interesting. This is a comic I made for my 8th grade class, and it's a Frankenstein, a redrawing of the graphic novel Frankenstein. So the graphic novel version. And this was my sketch for my digital... I did it digital, for my class. I thought that was really cool. I'm still kind of proud of that. Like, that was a really big project to have to do for a school project, and I just think that that's super interesting. This is my cartoony art style I drew in for a while, and this kind of, like, seeing this again kind of made me revert back to my cartoonish ways, because while I do like drawing the anime stuff, and I don't know, I always feel like my true self when I'm drawing more cartoony. And some of these people are part of a story I had. Like, this stuff. This is a part of a story I had. And I scrapped it because it had too many characters. And it was, like, too much happening. But this is a bunch of stuff I had for it. Oh, here's a brochure I made. And I kept it because I thought it was kind of cool. I always kept all my art projects for school. It's because I think they're interesting and fun. But some of this is mine, some of it is not. A lot of it's like my sisters or my friends. Sometimes they'd give me their art. I think that's all my sisters. This is a notebook I had, and you could see I drew in pencil. And this is actually D from Metal Family. You can, like, barely see it. And a furry. Now, on this side, we have this, and it's covered in Lisa Frank stickers. I don't think there's anything in here. But I thought that's kind of interesting. Because I feel like Metal Family is kind of made a resurgence. Or maybe it hasn't made a resurgence, but I just keep seeing it all over my For You page, and it reminded me of how much I really love that show. This is really funny, because this is from my... I don't even know how I acquired this, because, like, growing up in school, I was never popular. I didn't have a lot of friends. I feel like half the people didn't even know I even existed there. So I was just a very quiet kid. This was, like, a thing where we had to do where all the girls from my grade got around in a circle and, like, wrote nice things about each other. But we did this tester that would be, like, write bad things on this one. And somehow I ended up with it. So I don't really know how I ended up getting this. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what this is from. And I think that's kind of funny because I don't know how I would acquire that or why I would want it. This is crazy inside lore. I don't really know if I'll get into that because it's very personal. But let's just say that one of my friends had, like, a really big crush on me. And it was kind of embarrassing because I didn't really like them back. And, oh my god, look, there's so much just computer paper in here. I'll actually just take that and use that for something else. Because it shouldn't just be not used. He had kind of, like, a pretty big crush on me. And we all kind of made fun of him for it. Which was kind of mean now that I look back on it, but oh well. Yeah, this is a character I made for this is his vampire girlfriend. I never did anything with them, but this is Candy Girl. This girl with long hair. Oh, here's more of that that animation meme. This is the rest of it. There might be more of it in there. I don't actually know. I kind of like this style. I think that was kind of cute and I drew like that. I remember being really proud of this one. And it's weird too because, like, looking back, like, my eyes were so... Oh, this is a story called Her Eyes. It's really bad. If you wanted to read it, I guess you could pause and read it. I don't know if you could actually read my handwriting. But there's a back, I think. It's not good at all. Oh, here, wait. The camera's shaking. It's not good at all. But if you wanted to read it, I guess you could. More of that fox story. Oh, here's the rest of it. So this is what inspired Chiffon. So if you've been following me for a while or been friends with me for a while and you follow my art, you'll know that Chiffon originally had a design where she would wear this mask with a smiley face. Now, contrary to popular belief, it is not inspired by Dream or anything like that. It was just a smiley face that just turned into this character named Chiffon. And it was to like hide her identity. I don't really know. I kind of have retconned that in my more updated story, but it's still such a part of her identity that like when I think of this, I do think of Chiffon. This was a story about these two characters that I kind of had come up with. I never went anywhere with it, so just there. This is those two dogs that had like that black background. I think that was their kid or something. So this is really cool. So this was when I first got into My Hero. It probably was when season 4 had aired. I decided that to, almost like an art study, I wanted to draw all the characters from My Hero. And this is one of the pages from that sketchbook of where I drew all those characters. And I think that's really cool because I just think it's interesting. More My Hero fan art. This one was a little later down the line. There's a lot of it. Oh, there's more. I like how I drew Toru. I think that's kind of funny. Just because I feel like she's like not really. There. This is a outfit I came up with. It was a dream I had. Oh, here's more of that story. Here's another part. Oh, it does have a back. Oh, those other ones probably had backs too. Maybe I did the full thing. Well, you'll never know. It was a bad story, so it's okay. I did a lot of watercolor at the time. Billy! See, I love this art. I just think it's so cute. And I love Billy so much. Like, I love seeing that art of him. Okay, this is interesting. So this is what I would... So, if you received a Creep comic, which is basically sometimes I would give these to my friends to, like, rate. So this one I had given to one of my friends. And so I would ask them how it was. And it was called Creep Comic. And then I would fold it up like a little envelope. It's not actually an envelope. It's just fold it up like that. And it's a comic. And actually, I don't have this sketchbook with me. But when I do get it and bring it back over from my grandparents' house, I actually redid this whole terrible comic in an updated style, like a long time ago. And I think that's so funny because this comic was literally terrible. And I don't know why I redrew it. But I somehow, for some reason, felt the need to. But I do like how I folded this up. I think it's really cute. And that's one of the Creep comics. There's like 3 in existence. Here's that vampire. Yeah, she's kind of cute. And then I think this is just birthday cards and stuff. So nothing interesting. But yeah, that's this binder. It's just full of a bunch of loose leaf art. And then we'll look at some of the sketchbooks. Because the sketchbooks are definitely where the gold is at. So this is just like the beginning of a disaster that's going to come. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.